Let's talk motorcycles. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a video, kind of like an overview of my bike, especially or more particularly when it's time for highway riding. So the way it's set up now is what I call a touring mode. So I'm gonna kind of go over the parts that I do and kind of the changes that I have between like city riding and touring. So meaning, across the state lines. Usually if it's over 2 or 3 hours of a ride, then I'll set it up this way to get it going. So I'm gonna grab the camera and then I'm gonna talk to you guys as I'm going over what's going on, and we'll go from there. All right. Okay, just a quick overview of the bike, how I have it set up, kind of more detailed. So again, I do pull my handlebars back to put on the windshield. This is the Harley Davidson wind splitter windshield. I did slightly modify it. I added these standoffs to push the actual windshield forward some. The only reason I did that is because I like my handlebars to be in line with the forks, and that was the only way I can get them to fit. So I did do that. I also go ahead and I put on my tour pack. I normally don't run the tour pack. Like when I'm just riding around the city, I don't really run it unless my wife is riding with me. But other than that, I do put the tour pack on for the long trip. It just gives me a little bit of extra space to put stuff in, quick, easy access if I need to. And it also gives me something to set my bag up against, and I can use that as support. I also do change my seat. So normally I run a Salomon SDC gripper seat, but for the highway rides, I do change to this drag specialty seat. It just gives me a little bit more lumbar support, and it's a little bit of a wider seat, so it's just a little bit more comfortable. I don't get those pressure points like I normally would on the Salomon. Now, I love the Salomon seat. It has the gel insert, but it is a little bit firmer for my liking, especially for the longer trips when you're kind of sitting in the saddle. Another thing that I added I don't have in this video is I do put some sheepskin on the seat, and that just adds a little bit more comfort for myself. So, okay. So let's talk about pre-ride checklist. So I know there's like a 15-point or a 10-point checklist that you can get. I kind of came up with my own. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm gonna kind of just wing it. But typically the main things I check are I check my tire pressure. I'm usually doing this the night before or the day before. I check my tire pressure, make sure my tire pressure is good. I check and make sure that I have my oil topped off. I have my transmission fluid topped off. I check that everything's kind of ready to go. I get my fuel usually the night before. Prior to, usually about a few days beforehand, I'll go through and actually check all my bolts. So I'll put a wrench on all the exposed bolts that are prone to coming loose, because this bike does vibrate. I do have some motor work, so it does have a little bit of a vibration to it. So I make sure that my handlebars are tight. I make sure that my mirrors are tight. My intake is tight, my exhaust. I make sure everything is kind of tight. This is especially before a longer trip. So like I said, the trip coming up next week is going to be a 14-hour trip. So I'm gonna make sure I go through the bike and make sure it's ready to go and good to go. I am gonna do an oil change before this trip because we just started our bike season. Today is April. I'm sorry, today is May. It's May, early May. So our bike season kind of started here in Michigan just about now, and I haven't changed the oil. I changed the oil at the end of last season, but the oil has been sitting over the winter time. So I do like to change it at the beginning of the season. So I'm going to change the oil beforehand. I am going to check my transmission fluid and my primary fluid, make sure that's good. And then, like I said, just check my tires, make sure they're good to go, make sure everything is tight. And then other than that, then we're pretty much set. And that's my little checklist that I kind of go over. And again, like I said, when I get ready to get on the bike, I check to make sure I have everything I need, make sure I have my rain gear. I'm gonna have my heated gear just in case it gets a little chilly at nighttime. Make sure my luggage is all strapped down the night before and ready to go. So that way when we wake up in the morning, usually we leave about 5 or 6 in the morning, we're good to go. We don't have to worry about, fumbling to find stuff. So yeah, that's just a quick video just to kind of go over how the bike looks when it's getting ready to get on the road, to get on the highway. Like I said, I'm heading from Michigan down to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So it's about 14 hours, probably more so 16, probably about 16 or 17 with stopping and stuff like that. So it's gonna be a fun trip. And for all those that say, most people who say got Road Kings, like, it's gonna be hard riding on the highway. You don't have the fairing. I don't have the fairing. Sometimes I do miss having the fairing because you do get a little bit more wind protection. But this wind splitter windshield does a great job of keeping the wind off me and keeping from beating me up. I do get wind in my helmet, at my helmet. It's not buffeting, so to speak, but I do have this adjustment here. You can adjust this vent here to kind of break up that wind that's kind of come off the top of the windshield, so that helps a lot. But again, just a quick video on the setup of the bike. I am going to do another video maybe after this one, maybe before, maybe after this one, kind of going over all the updates, because it has been some time since I did an update video on what I was doing to the bike or what I've done to the bike. So it has been changed, as you can kind of see. Yeah, so that's it. So y'all be safe, stay cool, and peace.